in 1980, I went to ask Pujya Gurudev to give us dates for the Jnana Yajna in Long Island, where we had our Chinmaya mission in Plainview, New York, which was established in 1976 under Pujya Gurudev's guidance. It came as a pleasant surprise when, with a twinkle in his eye, as usual, he asked, why a yajna only? Why not a camp? For the next several months, we were frantically going from college to college to college and could only finally fix Poughkeepsie College for the camp with the help of Girija Sugarman.
At first, the registration was not picking up at all, and we were getting really worried. Registration of only 36 families before the camp started. And that particular day, people started coming in groups. Oh, thanks to Ramesh and myself, we were working like crazy because we didn't know what to do. As Gurudev said, hey, don't ever complain. When you get too many people, you won't be able to accommodate. I was just thinking, yeah, we had only reserved for 160. And we had exceeded that. Oh boy, oh boy.
Om Sri Satya Sankalpaya Namaha. Needless to say, he was at his best, as you all have been witnessing. The most touching thing was when, at the end of the camp, he called both of us and put a chain around that he was wearing around Kumar's neck and said that it was a very, very successful camp and congratulated both of us for a job well done. We both were melting in his love. Yeah, so all the people stayed. And as he says, during the weekend, all the local people, they all came and there was no place to sit. So they were all standing. And we didn't know that they are not regulars. So we thought, oh my God, how are we going to accommodate so many people? But they were all just as he put it in that one of the lectures. He said, oh, what is he saying? I don't have anything else to do. Let us go and see. So there were those kind of people also who all came. And then after weekend, they vanished. And Gurudev was so full of energy all the time. Ha, 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 ha. It was just a wonderful feeling. More than 70% would have been Americans at that time, because that was the way people used to come, and they used to get so fascinated. And it was just a wonderful magnetic appearance that he used to have, that we cannot forget that. So those days were just etched in our, memories.
It was an amazing gift that we had this technology and we could record this. That Gurudev was at first not very much for recording. And he kind of teased people because there were so many devotees, especially in California in the 70s, who wanted to record him on what was available then, which was 3/4 inch UHF, which they were not at all portable. They were big, heavy pieces of equipment. They suggested then that we have a portable camera and travel around with him. He'd say, why do we need this? People will be pushing the button, make the Swami talk, push a button on, and then 5 minutes later, they'll push the button and make the Swami stop talking. And he said, look, how are people going to watch and really have Shravana if they're watching on a video? But it's really grace that he allowed it and that we had the technology and we were able to video. So it was an early VHS, a video home system, that 1/2 inch, and it's not digital, it was analog, magnetic tape, which gets corrupted with time, which is why I'm so grateful that this is still accessible. When Gurudev decided that it was all right to video his talks, Aparao Mukamala bought the first camera for Chinmaya Mission West, and started Chinmaya Video Dham, which was the initial recording or group. Once he gave his initial approval for this, he was quite curious about it, and he would say, okay, show me now afterwards, show me. And really in those days, I didn't have a monitor to be able to check how the quality was. We just had a tiny little screen above the camera that you could look at. So I'd have to show this to him, and he was trying to see, what is this and this tiny little thing. So he was very skeptical himself, I must say. So, but he really did seem to give his blessings then, and approve of it. It's such a miracle to me to see these recordings so well preserved and edited and digitized, and the sound quality is great. And it is a miracle because in those days, we did not expect that they would ever be good enough to really use on television or for large numbers. The quality of the camera and was very preliminary then, very elementary, and even the focus didn't work well. The tripod was a little shaky, all these things. Gurudev from 40 years ago, 1981, is here to talk to us. And I really do feel his Shakti, his divine Shakti, his presence coming through. So I'm grateful to all. Sagar Loganathan and his wife, Pat, they worked very hard on digitizing a lot of these video cassettes and preserving them, and otherwise they would have probably disintegrated. I found Gurudev's itinerary from 1981 and opened it up, and there indeed is Long Island Camp, and there was no location, no text, because it hadn't been decided yet. It was the year following his bypass surgery, and his energy was just wonderful. It was like he was given renewed lease on life. It was so nice. I do have to repeat that he was very concerned that people would just use this as an entertainment, and turn the video on, turn it off when they want, and not really have that same bhav of Shravana. And so I'd really like to encourage whoever listens to him on these videos that they take it as a full yajna, that they just put themselves in the bhavana that they are in front of Gurudev, and that they are going to sit in front of him and sit for the whole time and really feel his presence and feel that he is there watching, and not this sipping tea and lying back in the sofa, and turning it on and off, but really set up your time for this yajna as though it were in person. And then all the full blessings will come, definitely.